Hello, all. Welcome to the presentation on The End of Living and the Beginning of Survival by Chief Seattle. Chief Seattle was a Native American leader and orator who belonged to the Suquamish tribe. He understood that the white settlers wanted to take their land. He tried to form peaceful relation between the natives and the settlers, acting as a bridge between them. The city of Seattle in America is named after him. He spoke for the cause of environmental protection, ecological balance, interconnectedness of all living and non-living things, and Native American beliefs and way of life. Background of the speech. White settlers from Britain started coming to America. They started to take over lands that once belonged to the native Indian tribes. Many tribes were displaced and violence often occurred. Governor Isaac Ingalls Stevens started buying or seizing lands from native Indians and relocating them to reservations through land treaties. Chief Seattle, leader of the Suquamish tribe, who favored peace over violence, addressed his people in 1854, which later became the famous speech, The End of Living and the Beginning of Survival. In 1855, a treaty was signed, making the Suquamish tribe move to Port Madison Native Reservation. Let us now look at the summary of the chapter. The End of Living and the Beginning of Survival was a speech delivered by Chief Seattle on March 11, 1854. It was originally delivered in the Lushootseed language. It has been translated by many people, and hence there is no authenticity to the actual speech. It was spoken after meeting with Governor Isaac Ingalls Stevens, who wanted to buy their native land and to move them to a reservation. The very idea of buying or selling land was strange and unacceptable for the natives. This is a powerful speech upholding Native American sentiments and environmental values. It has become famous for its noble message of environment protection and conservation. Chief Seattle begins his speech by saying that the president in Washington wants to buy the land of the natives. The idea of buying or selling nature, its land, water, and sky, is very strange to the Native Americans. It is unacceptable for them. Earth and everything in it is holy or sacred according to their beliefs. The red man, that is the Native Americans, give importance to all living and non-living things in nature, while the white man, that is the settlers, do not respect nature. Native Americans believe that the earth is their mother, flowers are their sisters, the horse, the great eagle, the rivers and sky are their brothers. Water in the rivers is the blood of their ancestors. The murmur of the water is the voice of their ancestors. All living and non-living things are part of one great family. Chief Seattle says that the great chief in Washington, that is the president, wants to buy their land and give them another land to settle in. He says that they shall consider the offer only if the white men agree to their conditions. Their conditions are as follows. The white men must teach their children to treat nature with respect. They must remember that the land, water, and sky are precious and sacred. They should treat rivers with the same kindness they would give to their brothers. The rivers quench thirst, carry canoes, and feed children. They must remember that air is precious. It supports life. All life forms share the same breath, trees, animals, and man. They must treat the winds as sacred. The same wind gives us the first breath and receives our last breath. They must treat all animals as their own brothers. Whatever happens to beasts will soon happen to man, because all things are connected. They must teach their children to respect the land. Earth does not belong to man, man belongs to earth. The white men do not understand the ways of the natives. They consider everything as mere properties to be bought and sold. They treat earth as an enemy. They conquer lands and move on. Their greed will destroy earth and turn it into a desert. They do not pay attention to the air they breathe or the sounds they hear. They kill animals for fun. They have killed thousands of buffaloes in the fields while they passed in the smoking iron horse. The phrase smoking iron horse refers to trains. The Native Americans do not understand these merciless ways of the white man. The sight of the white man's cities pains the eye of the red man. The clatter of the cities are an insult to the ears. There is no peace in the cities. One cannot hear the beautiful soft sounds of nature, the unfurling of a leaf in spring, the rustle of an insect's wing, the sound of wind blowing over the surface of a pond, sounds of birds and animals like the whippoorwill and frogs. All things share the same destiny. Even the white man's God is part of it. All things are connected, like the blood which unites one family. The Native Americans believe that their God is the same as the white man's God, and that they are all brothers after all. The white man thinks he can own his God just like he tries to own everything in nature. But this is wrong. God loves everyone and the earth is precious to him. To harm earth would be to harm God. At this point, Chief Seattle wonders what God's intentions were when he brought the white man to their land and gave them dominance. He does not understand this fate. He says, God brought the white men to this land and gave them control over this land and us. We do not understand this fate. It is a mystery to us. Now he does not dare to question that fate. He submits to the will of the Almighty. He further says, we do not understand the ways of the white men, slaughtering buffaloes, taming horses, invading forests, destroying the landscape with telephone wires. And he concludes, everything is gone, and it is now the end of living and the beginning of survival. Significance of the title. Even though Chief Seattle is shocked at the concept of buying and selling land, he agrees to leave their native land and move to the reservation allotted to them for the safety of his people. He knows that the white men have no respect for earth. They do not have respect for their ancestors or care for their future generations. They kill animals, plunder and conquer lands, destroy the natural beauty of landscape with modern innovations, and are indifferent to the sacredness of nature. The decision was needed for their survival. He knows that their old way of living by being one with nature will no longer be possible because the white men are asserting dominance over them and destroying ecology. If nature is harmed, people will be harmed too. They will have to simply survive. He is convinced that the treaty marks the end of living for them and the beginning of mere survival. Let us now summarize the chapter. In a nutshell, Chief Seattle's speech is a passionate and powerful one that upholds environmental values. He portrays the Native American belief system that views life in a wholesome manner, interconnected and interdependent with every living and non-living thing in nature. He says that man is not the supreme authority. Man is just one strand in the complex web of life. Everything has its own role and significance, and it is our duty to respect that. Whatever calamity happens to earth will happen to man as well, because all things are interconnected. White men should forego their destructive and indifferent ways. They should stop killing animals for fun and setting up cities by invading forests, and should consider the sky, the land, the air, the water, animals, birds, and plants as their own brothers and sisters, and earth as their mother. This is the Native American way of life. If white men do not respect and follow these ideals, it will be the end of living and the beginning of survival for all.